במאורי אורוס בייז, סימן כף בייז, בכיה הוא חסרון אורוס אימא. So it says that crying is the lack of the lights of the mother of Bina, v'gematria lamed zayin, miloi sag. And the gematria of 37 is the letters that fill Shem Sag, Yud Ke Vav Ke, with Yuds and an Aleph. So that's Gematria Bechia is the Miloi, is Lamed Zayin. V'birachel Shahais and Noheges Lekabel Oros Elu. And that Lamed Zayin, that Miloi of Rachel, of Leah, of Ima, are the lights that go to Rachel, that are lacking. That's why Rachel Bechein Beis Pamim Dima Gematria Rachel. And so too the word tear Dima is if you take that word twice, so that's Gematria Rachel. And Ad Kan Lashona, that's the end of his quote. But it's fitting to the pasuk that Rachel Mevake al Banea, that Rachel cries for her children. And so forth. And the concept is the Isal pasuk vayihiu chayis Sarah, that is brought on the verse that the life of Sarah was she'eker shnosov shel Sarah hayalamed zayin shana mishanolad Yitzchak, that the main life of Sarah was the 37 years after Yitzchak was born, k'moshe kasa bebalatorim sham, like it says in Balatorim there. And the concept is ki Sarah hi malchus shehi chibur hadibur ha'elyon. And the concept is that Sarah is malchus, which is the supernal speech, v'hadibur mekabel mehevel halev, and the speech receives from the breath of the heart, u'bechinas hevel hanal zeu gematria lamed zayin. And that concept of breath, hevel, is also gematria 37. So the breath of the speech is also this miloi of sag, v'hu miloi sag, ki shem sag bebina. Because shem sag is in bina, v'yesod ima mistayim bechazed is and the yesod of the mother ends at the chest of Zeranpin, so to speak, misham nimshach hevel alev, and from there is drawn the breath of the heart. So that's the yesod of Ima, ends in the heart, and therefore it spreads out from sag, from bina, into the breath of the speech. So that's the connection from bina to the dibur. Fu inyan hashpos haseichel v'ha'isbonanus shenimshach balev, and that's the idea of the flow of intellect and contemplation that's drawn from the heart. K'omram halev mevin, like the statement that the heart understands. That the bina is in the heart. And from there is drawn the breath to be the source for the speech. Lihioso keser de nukva, and that's the crown of the feminine aspect. So the breath is the tiferes of Zah, becomes the keser for nukva, or the yesod of Ima, that's in the chazet, the shlish elyon, and so forth. And this is also the idea of the 100 blessings. That is the name Sag with its Miloi of 37. So that is Gematria 100, Sag 63 and 37. So too the Meorior brings about the idea of bracha, that this adds up to 100. Valpi mashikasuv sham hayair nesiv Mashma de bracha zu hiuchi bor av sag chulu, and according to what the Yair Nasiv explains there in the Mori Or, is that this blessing is the union of av and sag, the miloi of sag with sag. Visham kenegdam b'malchus mea adanim, and there, corresponding with that in Malchus, you have 100 of the adanim, the kabel mea brachos, to receive the 100 blessings. So the foundation blocks of the Mishkan that stand it up, the Atzei Shittim. So there's 100 of them, and they correspond with the 100 blessings. And that's the concept of Malchus, the foundation. I guess the Atzei Shittim, the Eitzim, are like the concept of Midos, like the Malachim that are misspoiled. They're aroused emotionally. And the Eitz corresponds with Midos, that it has growth and so forth. Whereas the Adanim are inanimate, like the Domim. Vayim bibi Azor pasuk vayihi uchayisar lechein bechorban b'samikdash Bacho Sivkeh. Therefore, by the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash, you have a cry, this double cry with al histalkus miloi sag, shihu inyan mea brachos, and on the removal of the miloi of sag, which is the concept that you no longer have the 100 blessings. That's the Tivkeh is the gematria sag, miloi sag. So you also, according to the Yair Nasiv, you also wouldn't have the chibur, the yichud of Avid Sag. So you're lacking the yichud. Vayim bibiur Ezor al pasuk vayihi uchay Sarah ulechein bechorban Beis HaMikdash Bacho Sivkeh al istalkos miloi sag shvinyan mea brachos mizen nimshach bechia shu gematria anal. And with this you draw down the crying, which is this gematria of Lamed Zayin, the mizen nimshach shlitas bechinas hevel urus ruach. And from this you draw down the breath of naught and bad spirit, shu hapech hevel kedusha, which is the opposite of the breath of holiness, shalav kiyum haolam, that upon it is the establishment and existence of the world. Kemoshikasu b'zohar ish parshas vayetze taf kuf mem zayin amud beis binyan shava havelim de koheles. And like it's brought in Zohar on Vayetze, on the 7 breaths of Koheles that the world stands upon, v'yesh lo umazeh, and that you have the opposite in the other side, havelin beishin, bad breaths, bad wind, v'inun stiru de alma, and they are the destruction of the world. Kogon zeh hevel v'cholira, like the statement in Koheles that this is breath and a bad sickness. And this is a breath and a bad wind, a bad spirit. So you have this opposite this in the breath as well. The zeluma zevruach. B'meori or oshei simin beis havelim de kedusha. You have the breaths in holiness, that come out from the supernal mouth. The name Sag, and the opposite of this are breaths and bad spirit, the the 7 breaths of the accusing angel that come out of his mouth. Ad kan l'shono v'yayin nasiv kasav ayin beitz chaim shara klalim perek yud aleph. So the Yair Nasiv brings from shara klalim l'chein zeu abechia gematria hevel, and therefore the crying is in the gematria of breath, she'ein meir ba bechinas hevel ha'elyon mebina v'zah, that does not shine this supernal breath from bina and from zeranpin. V'hine Yosef nasan la David lamed zayin shana gematria hevel. Now Yosef gave to David 37 years, the gematria of hevel. So that's Yosef gave that to David. Yosef, who Yisod b'chinas v'nahar, because Yosef is the concept of the Yisod, the concept of the river. V'David hu malchus, and David is malchus, like we said before by Rachel, that receives these lamed zayin. V'isa b'me'ore or sham hevel Yisod zah. It says there in me'ore or that the breath is Yisod of Zirampin, Shiyotzu mimenu hevel lahayel nukva v'chulu, that comes out, a breath to shine to the feminine aspect and so forth. And through the idea of the desolation and drying up of the river, like we said, that's Chorban Bayis Rishon and Sheni, so it does not shine this breath, which is like Yosef to David. But instead is drawn the breath and the bad spirit into the world. From this reason you have the crying, which is the Gematria Lamed Zayin, these 37 years to David. And this is the idea also of on these do I cry. So the Eila is a Gematria Lamed Zayin with the word itself. But here he's saying Hainu al Eila Muadei Havaya, that we're crying because of these are the holidays of Hashem, B'chinas HaSimcha, that we're crying because of the Eila, of the Moadim, with the joy, V'tosefes v'riba ha'or she'ir bizun, and the extra added light that shines into Zan Nukva. V'lechein him Moadim l'simcha. And so it brings on the bottom that Yosef, the concept of the Hevel Halev, that's brought in Tkuti Torah Shlach, and Yosef giving his years, that's brought in Mitzvahs Minoi Melech to the Tzemach Tzedek and Derech Mitzvosecha, and the connection between Al Eila Nibuchia and Eile Moadei Havaya, that's according to Medrash Eicha Rabba, Psicha Yud Aleph. That you have this extra light that shined into Zan Nukva, like we said, from Ima, the Muadim, the Midos of Bina are 30, the Midos of 6 times 6 is 36. Earth itself, I guess, is Lamed Zayin. So, but that's also the Milui of Sag that comes from Bina L'chein, He Muadim L'simcha, and therefore they're holidays for joy. Bechinas v'yismichu becha, the concept of, and we will rejoice in you. Began be pasuk rishon de kriya Shema yesh esmach. There's also in the first pasuk of Shema, there's a rejoicing. B'zor chelik gimel pashas Pinchas tafresh lamed vav amud beis. Al yedei tosefes haor, through the extra light. I'm not sure what the esmach is in kriya Shema. So that's the simcha if you have the light, but if you don't have the light, then you have crying. And you can add further, why do you have this double language of crying? That when the light goes away, you have that the darkness solidified, and that's because I will fill up the destruction, meaning that tear, that Tzor was filled from the destruction of Yerushalayim, that this opposite this, the klippa, the darkness becomes tangible when the light goes away. Like the idea of usury and interest and so forth. So it says on the bottom, Dach Shmos La Tzemach Tzedek, no need fuss. Leis Adar a Orator Mishpatim. So, when this was printed, so this Mamar wasn't printed yet, but now in Orator Mishpatim it's brought this idea. And it says, Meshuli Amur Beguf Savyad Kodesh Vipol Al Savre Binyamin Chulu Vayevk. It brings the idea of Binyamin crying on the shoulders of Yosef. So you have a concept of crying over the Beis HaMikdash. Like we said, that Yosef is the Yesod that gives flow to David, the Lamed Zayin Shanim that he gave to David. Similarly is the idea of Binyamin. And the crying of Binyamin Vini Amra Zal, and our sages said, Afal Pishini Nalu Shari Tefillah, that even though the gates of prayer are closed, are locked, Shari Dima Loni Nalu, the gates of tears were not closed, were not locked. Venispar Mizeh B'Likutei Torah Pashas Bahaloscha. And it's explained in Likutei Torah Bahaloscha al Yidei Shadima Hi Beinaim Gorim Kin Lamayla B'Chinas Re'iyah Chulu, that since the tears are in your eyes, that causes above a concept of vision, of sight, the eyes above. Al Derech Pekach Einechu Re'esh Yomimusenu Chulu, like the pasuk expresses, open your eyes and see our desolation. Vain Bavodas HaKodesh Chel Gimel Perek Lamed Vav Masha Kazu B'Shem HaMedrash Al Pasuk Eini Yordamayim. What's brought on the Medrash, how my eyes descend down water, Mashal Rofe Chulu, that it's compared to a doctor, Tevכה Eini Aleni Chulu, that my eye cries for my eye. I guess it's a process of healing by crying. So too, the souls of Israel are called the eye. Like I will guard you like the apple of my eye. Any or the mime is my eyes cry for the Knesset Israel, I guess. You also have the eye of mercy. Sivkeh and that's what it means, that my eyes will cry for my eyes, for the apple of my eye. Ayin Mashikosu B'Likutei Torah Softi Boramas Chilkis Yishma B'Kol Binyan Lasos Hayashar B'nei Havaya. Look what's brought in Likutei Torah about the idea of to do what's straightforward in the eyes of Hashem. You have a concept of eyes there as well. So Yashar in the eyes. Another effect of the eyes. If so, you can understand from this that through the crying above you awaken, through the crying we awaken above the eye of mercy, the idea of crying, my eyes upon my eye, for the sake of my eye. Like the well-known story of the Rambam, that he made the person cry, and then told him that was in order to heal his eyes, perhaps.